Hey trappers, Dale Billingsley here, Billingsley Brand Lures. So we're out here today, and what I thought I would do is just kind of show some more good locations to look for. I don't think you can actually cover that too much, in my opinion. Location is the key to where it all starts. Sets are just, they're just the butter that goes with the bread, actually. But the actual meat and potatoes of the whole thing is the location. If you're not on location, you don't have good location, best set in the world's not going to catch. So let's take a look at some. And again, as always, if you're new here, if you would please, if you haven't already, hit that subscription button for me, hit that thumbs up, hit that notification bell. It means so much to me, and I appreciate it so much. So let's jump off into this thing. All right, guys, so here's what we got going on here. We've got a really nice, young, little hedgerow coming up. Kind of see it here. We got a really nice little hedgerow, tree line here. Hedge, Osage orange, Bodark, whatever the particular vernacular might be in your part of the country. Anyway, we've got this coming up here and coming across, and it comes on across the road. Let me get my old truck in there. And goes off into this other direction. Now, we snared a coyote right here this last fall. So you know they're crossing through here. I mean, you've got a big timber off here to the west. On the other side here, you've got this big timber that we're bordered by a lake here to the south. A big lake at that. So that's a natural boundary for them right there. That's a barrier. So everything over on this side is going to hunt up through that big timber, and this is a natural crossing right here for them at the end of this hedgerow. We're looking west right at the moment. Now here in Iowa, our prevailing wind in the fall and winter is from the northwest. So what you would want to do is pick out a salient feature out in this side of the field here and come out, 10, 15 yards out into the open of this field, because anything that's hunting here is going to hunt up along the edge of this. They're not going to be out here. They're going to be up in here along the edge. So if you pick out one of them dead trees out in there that would be a salient feature for you, at a good backing to put a set on, that would be the place to put it. Now, as you come on the other side, naturally, again, with the prevailing wind from the northwest, then you would want to be tucked up tight to the hedgerow, because they're going to hunt out here and anything that's blowing into their face. You always have to remember that. They always want the wind in their face because they trust their nose. Canines and felines both. Feline relies a lot more on his eyes than a canine does. Not saying that, not by any stretch of the imagination am I saying they're cold nosed like a lot of folks will make you think they are. A cat has a way better nose on than what people give them credit for. But a good place to be would be tucked up. You can just kind of see that little cedar limb sticking out right there. Right in there somewhere would be a good place to put a set. But then also where this little ditch, this little finger comes up, that would be a good spot there also to catch that prevailing wind when it switches. Once we get a storm coming in and the wind turns from the south or the east, that's a nice little gap right there. Boy, if you can get a set there and get a set up here both, you're going to pick them up really well right there. And I would do the same if I was on the north side of this tree line as well. I would put a set out here maybe 10, 15 yards out into the field, and then I'd tuck one back up against this row of trees somewhere to catch both winds, as they're switching on you. As you come across the road, you really don't have the luxury too much of setting to the south-southeast to catch that wind, but you've got all that big open crop field out there to set to catch that prevailing northwest wind when it comes through. But what I would do is stay out, 8, 10 corn rows out into the field and poke in a set, and then come right up against the tree line there and pop in another one to catch that southeast east type wind when it switches directions when a storm front comes in. So that's how I would handle this situation in this location. Let's go look at some more. All right, guys, here we are on another little location. We have a crop change. There on to the south, we have a nice row crop field there, and then we've got this tall CRP grass right along here, and then way out yonder you see that gap between those trees. I'll promise you guys, there ain't a predator worth his salt that does not know that that gap's there. That gap would be an awesome location because it keeps them narrowed down for you. And then you have this crop change, like I said. That's another good location. And then you've got this gap up here to the north, and it looks like you've got another gap on back there to the south. So anywhere along in there in that tree line and in those gaps is going to be an excellent location to pick up coyotes, red fox, gray fox if you have them, bobcats as well. Everything is going to hunt through those gaps and up along them too. Don't ever want to pass those kind of locations up, guys. Those are dynamite. Those are actually gimme locations. All right, guys, there's another perfectly good location right there, and I know for a fact that later on, this 2-track right here will be mowed and mowed pretty short. And it goes right off through that gap right there between the tree line and the trees there to the south. That'd be another narrowed up spot, another gap that would darn sure be worth setting. Put at least one set to the north, one set to the south. Catch all your prevailing winds that way. Plus it's narrowed up enough that a predator goes through there, he can't hardly miss your sets. If he can't smell them, he's at least gonna see them. So that'd be another good location right there that you sure enough want to pay attention to. Look for tracks, look for sign, for droppings, and put your sets in accordingly. All right, guys, here we have another absolutely fantastic location for all predators coming through this timber, this road right here. And I know for a fact that once you get on down there and get around that corner right there, just a little further down, there's another one that comes across from the east to the west. We're looking north right now. Another road that intersects with this one down here and crosses it. That is a dynamite location, and those need to be set. And I'm not talking one set, I'm talking at least 3, if not 4 or 5 at that intersection. Don't worry about blowing them out of the country like a lot of guys talk about. Guys, I'm here to tell you that they cannot count, okay? It's been proven, scientifically fact, predators and animals can't count. So these guys that tell you, well, if you've got 10 sets in there, you're just right. But if you've got 12, you've set too heavy and it's too many. How in the heck can that be? I don't understand where they come up with this kind of logic at. So set it accordingly. Now, I'm not saying if you go through there with a whole bunch of loud, smelly, rank lures that you can't blow them out. So put in some natural type sets, use some droppings, use some urine, use some land lures. But go ahead and also use your call lures, use your long distance call lures, use your baits at different sets at different locations. It's not going to hurt a thing. So anyway, there's another good location right here, guys. You dang sure don't want to pass up, and that's any of those timber roads. And I know the east is covered with them. We've got a lot of them here in the Midwest as well through these state forests and down south through your national forest, and you're out east through your forest like that. You've got all kinds of these roads. You need to be taking advantage of them when you can. They're sure enough fur producers. All right, guys, here we are. We have another really good area to check. Lots of locations here. We've got this farm lane, this mowed path all the way around this high grass that's bordered by the timber all along the edge. And I don't know if you can see it or not. I'll try to zoom in, but way off yonder, I don't think it's going to show up, but anyway, trust me, way off yonder down there in the distance, there's a main power line that comes through there. Those power lines are always good locations to check. Everything travels up and down them, so they're always places you want to check and look and set. And then, like I said, you've got this mowed path all the way around this place, high grass in the middle, tree lines bordered all around it on the outside. Guys, I'm telling you, these kind of places like this can't miss. You know as well as I do, there's predators going to be hunting through here, hunting up and down this mowed path, all the way around it, looking for mice, rabbits, and what have you through here. The deer coming out of the timber, you know, everything's here. Everything is here at this spot. So these are good locations you want to stop and look at, and you want to try to gain permission on them, because I'm telling you, you're going to load up traps in a hurry here. All right, guys, I don't know how well this is going to show up, but we've got this farm lane going back there. You see the Canadian geese standing on it there. Goes clear back to that tree line and probably goes on through, if the truth was known about it. If we had permission to get back there, I would take us. But I don't have, so I can't. But what we've got, and I don't know how well it's going to show up, but we've got 4 different crop changes here. We have a crop change right here in front of us, just past the geese. We go from beans on this side to corn over here. Then as you go on back, you go from corn on this side of the road to hay ground on the other side of the road, and then the timber also. So you've got a potential there to put a lot of sets in a hurry and catch all the predators coming up and down this roadway. You know, at every one of those crop changes, that's an intersection. So that's something you want to think about a lot. All right, guys, we're going to end that video there. I just pulled back home. I know it wasn't a very long video, but I believe there was some pretty good information in there for you if you choose to use it. Guys, once again, I appreciate everything you've done for me, for this channel. Once again, this is Dale Billingsley with another one. Signing out.